Hello everyone, my name is Ben, welcome back to PASSTHEauxCORD, a channel where I'm a Foals fan now, maybe. So first part of this album had me extremely intrigued. You know this already, I don't know why sometimes I end up repeating myself on the second part. You just probably came here from that. So if you don't remember what I thought, you probably watched it yesterday and then you can just go back and watch again. It's not a big deal, man. Heavy Water is the next one, and it's very low on lyrics, which means I can probably just space out and listen to the instrumental and be really, really happy about it, because that's kind of what's been going on anyways. Still really loving the drumming on here. I really love that rapidly ascending and descending note. The phrasing is very dramatic and obviously metaphorical. I really enjoy the outlandishness of how this song is written. Well, that's uncharacteristically dramatic sounding. The kind of drum roll we got going on in here. Man, it's such a unique vibe. On this album has been so cool. It comes in sporadically and spices things up a little. Again, track has a lot of character. It's very unique. There is absolutely nothing that I can remotely pick out as sounding anything like that. Heavy Water by Foals is Heavy Water by Foals, and it doesn't sound like a single other song that I can imagine existing. They got so much unique sound palettes going on all throughout this. It's just really cool. Again, the lyrics here are almost just entirely metaphorical imagery that feels like it could be taken pretty much any way. It's almost impossible to pin down an exact meaning, and sometimes I feel like I am way too direct with that anyways, so there's no way I'm gonna try to stretch this and skew it into being one specific thing. It's just very dramatic, and when I return to this, I'm sure eventually I'll come out with my own interpretation of it, but for the time being, it's just really cool imagery. And the fact that that track really took up using a lot more instrumental stuff was very much needed portion, I guess. You know, not that we haven't had enough instrumental sections, but it's just very satisfying to see a song that's more that than not that. So somehow I completely missed Two Steps twice. Literally just isn't here. I was watching back my footage and I never listened to the fucking thing. I have no idea what I did. I just skipped over it entirely, and it's really a shame that I did because it's definitely one of the most fun songs on here. I really like it. It's got this really cool danceable rhythm to it, you know. It just makes you want to move. It's really upbeat and nice sounding, just really happy sounding track. It almost feels like it's dance instructions given, you know, the title and the way that's kind of worked into the hook on it. I really love the use of around in the beginning part. That's not something that you see in a lot of modern music, I guess. So I think the placement here was really unique and I liked that a lot. And also it transitions extremely well into the next track, and I really wish that I would have known that because it probably would have made me like Big Big Love a lot more. Just because I'm a sucker for those transitions, of course. But yeah, it was a really good track. I liked it a lot. I'm saying that now after listening to it outside of the context of the album, but I did just kind of listen to the album again because I'm editing. I don't know, man, it's kind of complicated, but either way, honestly, it just makes me like the album even more. So in case you're wondering what I think of that one, there you go. Big Big Love Figure 2 is the next one, and it is, yeah, the longest song on the album. Well, this is neat. Loving the brightness of this tune so far. This has so many layers going on. I think that's what makes it so psychedelic when you just focus in on it. Every few measures is just another instrument or another loop added onto the mix. That's tying back to an earlier track right there. This hook grows on me more and more as the song progresses. Not sure what to describe these backing sounds as, but they're really neat.
Oh, electric shocks, no. Oh, electric shocks, no.
Ooh, that sound it ends on. That's so nice. Yeah. I have the same things to say about that track as I have to say about most of the other ones that have came before it. In fact, it might just be slightly toned down in comparison. But at the same time, it's very impressive that they managed to take almost 6 minutes and turn it into something that felt like maybe 3. It's so immediate, and it just sounds really bright and likable and full of character and personality in a way where it just isn't tiring to listen to. That being said, that's probably my least favorite on the album so far, just because in that 6 minutes it didn't do as many interesting things, I guess, as some of them did in less time. But still, a very likable, good track overall. I mean, you know, I've not gotten any complaints to throw this album's way. I really like that this has a brighter, more upbeat sound to it and matches that in the lyrical content, because it definitely does. The verses on here seem to be filled to the brim, again, with some very nice imagery. The hook on here, though, is very love-centric and definitely seems to have a happier tone than some of the maybe more broken-hearted tracks on here. This one definitely seems much more happy with a love situation. Still very nice, trippy, kind of psychedelic stuff going on here. You know, I'm liking it. Next one is Like Swimming. It's 2 minutes and an instrumental, so I'm gonna enjoy this. There's no way around that. Here's some hand claps existing. It has a lot more layers going into it than most of these do. They usually build up to this. Again, it comes across initially as quiet, or like almost like it's far away or too quiet, like you need to turn the volume up, but the more it goes on, the more it kind of fills the space. That is so weird. Look, that transitions so well that I almost feel super bad for pausing it here, but I still feel kind of bad because, you know, I know that this is my format, but I really want to keep going. That ending portion was, I have no idea how to put that into words. I mean, were you hearing that? I feel like I dreamed sounds, and that's what they were. Tron is the next one. It's so strange. It kind of sounds like a heart monitor. Which ties back to the hospitals thing from... You know, it's strangely consistent with the lyrics. Totally forgot to mention, this is actually the original album closer. Apparently the last two are bonus tracks, and I didn't know that before, so we're gonna take in the closer now and just kind of reflect on the album at this point, and then, you know, the other two will be just kind of slapped on the back end here.
Another country place we could go.
Oh, and the lyrics are kind of tying back to Olympic Airways, where they were talking about running away. Very interesting horn addition as usual, of course. Repetition here really does a lot for it. And that's tying back to the opener. Wow. Yeah, this really all just comes together at this point. Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a better closer on here. There just wouldn't be any getting that whatsoever. One thing that I was really starting to like is the fact that they would take some of the portions of the lyrics, at least the feelings behind some of the lyrics, or, you know, just little bits and pieces of some of the stuff that already happened, and then they would inject them into the next song. And the most magical part about that is almost none of it is entirely literal, so it's almost just this recurring idea, and whatever that idea might mean to you is now kind of making a whole story in your head. If that makes any kind of sense at all in what I'm saying, you know, you'll get what exactly is really unique about how this entire record is written. The way that song was assembled as well just really defines a lot of what was going on in this album. Going back and trying to describe it is almost like when you wake up from a dream and you can't quite remember everything that happened. All I can say is a lot of what I've said already, where they kind of just took this extremely subtle approach where it's all very quiet, but then you add like 10 different things going on, and there's just so much to focus on, but it's just not quite in any way aggressive either. Really conveys a certain feeling that I found very entertaining the whole way through this. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and rate the album based on the actual album's sake and consider that my final thoughts on it. Very, very interesting record. It's something that I feel like I have to recommend you experience it, because I don't know how much of that I can put into words better than I already did. So yeah, feeling like an 8+ out of 10 on that. Let's go ahead and check out these bonus tracks though. Hummer is the first one. It's pretty light. It's pretty groovy sounding. Got a pretty slick rhythm. Okay. Love those backing vocals. It's really cool. You know, the vocals are almost an instrument in and of themselves. They don't really take priority with the 10 other things going on either. Bass line is super nice. I like the more energetic approach. Legitimately more upbeat. I want to use the word aggressive, but it's still like not to that like punchiness level, you know? It was a little bit more raspier, a little bit more shouty in the vocal section of things. I mean, you've got the chorus of "Oh Come On," just kind of seems a lot more pissed off than everything else on this record thus far. That definitely took a very different sound than pretty much everything before it. You can still very much so tell that it's the same band. They have a very distinct sound and style that I feel like I'm already familiar with, and I feel like not many other bands have at all. Again, lyrics kind of vague, kind of strictly imagery based, but it's got a feeling behind it, and this feeling is definitely different than the album that came before it. So it fits really well as a standalone song, and, you know, I'm glad it was included here because still, great track. Yeah, just really love the groove to that one. Mathletics, next one on here. Final one, I suppose. Very cool strings going on here. Somewhat eclectic. Sure is, man. Probably the most dynamic on this track out of everything here. It's changing in its rhythm, I guess. Again, genuinely kind of more aggressive on that track, I guess. Had a lot more outgoing energy to it, I guess, and seemed less introspective and kind of feeling-based. It was more textured. Kind of had a little bit more grit, a little bit more rock and roll energy to it, I guess. But like the lyrics on there, seems pretty fed up, I guess. Honestly, almost just seems to be about being tired of things. I like the pun in the title. I'm not really sure why they opted to make this the song with the pun in the title, but you got math rocks, you got athletics, mathletics. There you go. I'm noticing now that that pun was probably more indicative of the fact that in an academy you would have a math class, not that it's math rock.
So now I know.
Actually, I almost wonder now that I've said everything if this is kind of like a declaration statement of what they want to be. Because Mathletics kind of ties back to their actual just like overall sound in the way that sometimes even the songs down to them being talking about athletics, you know, you got the first track with tennis. I'm probably reaching. That's probably what's going on.
You sure got that right.
But either way, math rock, you know, I'm thinking this is kind of maybe your declaration of your sound. And then I guess you got the like calling all kids on and on. Sine wave will cosine wave. I don't know, these lyrics just seem like a declaration of some kind, I guess. Turning the academy down could be symbolism for not going with the flow, being accepted just by being normal. My interpretation is probably a very far stretch from what was intended, but regardless.
At least I'm self-aware, I guess.
That's my first experience with Foals. I mean, I already talked about what I thought of the album in general, and I feel like these last two tracks don't apply to that in any way since they aren't officially part of it. But I liked every song on here quite a fair bit, actually. Like, really just some incredibly unique stuff on here. Very good overall. I mean, I have no complaints to throw its way at all. Yeah, I'm hoping this video does as good as I think it is because I'm going to be hearing the Foals discography from here on forth, with or without videos, but of course the preferred method is with videos. Next time around, I mean, I have to imagine I'm going to do at least one more of these. I think it's at least going to be that well accepted. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I thought of this album on a couple re-listens because I'm going to go ahead and do that like right away. I'm going to go ahead and re-listen to this a little bit in the next following days here when I'm just doing other stuff. But yeah, I guess that's all I got for you. So drop a like on the video if you did like what you saw today and subscribe to the channel for more music related content coming your way and for me to stumble through more outros. Hit the notification bell for the same thing as well. But that is just about going to wrap it up for this one, and I will see you in the next video.